Okay. Yeah, the mic's on.
All right.
Casual conversation. The Maddie's not you didn't turn on.
Yeah.
Still the same thing.
Okay. And a 3, 2, 1. Welcome to another episode of Positivity. I'm super excited to be here today. Man get the Chaver Mendy Twerski.
Hello,
And
Ali.
it's kennen zich schon a paar Uhr.
Long
And
time.
so we get the Chavarim. I wish I knew him a little bit more and better, but the internet is rule. But by the time when ich him getroffen, he had a few singles. You were a little bit on social media, so mensen hem gekend, so we were able to relate. In a sense, we both started on social media at an
Same
early
time.
age. I mean, I'm a little bit older than you, but still, like the idea van zijn out there. But today, you have multiple hit singles, including I Get Morgen, was me zingt bij gassene intros and translated into many different languages. In the ganze Welt kennen us. I was telling before my sister that you're going to come on, and she was talking to her friend in London. Jeder kent the song. They're telling me that every day in seminary they woke up to it. So, like, and I'm sure you keep on hearing this from a lot of people. It's such a good, energetic song. So I'm excited to start this conversation. We're just going to make a quick pause for the sponsors, and then we're going to get right into the conversation.
Deals on camera coverages. Okay, where do I start? Yellow socks for $5.99? Who needs yellow socks? One second, what is that over there? An inflatable swimming pool? Now in January? I needed that for the summer. No thanks. No deals on a coffee machine? Oh wait, this is just what I'm looking for. For just $87.99? Yesterday it was $92. Oh, what a deal. Oh, that seems just like the deal I was waiting for. Yes. At Stun Deals, we bring you hand-picked deals. Subscribe to our status and get stunned now. Wow. 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 Stun da dun dun. Stun Deals.
Before you continue watching, hit the link in the description to their WhatsApp status. You just saw Stun Deals, an incredible platform, so that you know that when you buy something, you get it at the rock bottom price, because they have a team that's constantly sitting and scanning all the deals from the internet to bring the lowest price to you. Check them out. Enjoy. Speaking of deals, let me introduce you to one more incredible deal that's running right now before Yontiv. You can get all of your disposables, from bekelig to plastic cups, plastic plates, plastic spoons, forks, garbage bags, everything that you need for Yontiv, right in one package delivered to your door for the cost of $2.99. That's half of the usual retail price. All delivered to your door, free shipping in the tri-state, minimum cost shipping in all of the United States. The website is buyn'save.com. Buy, letter N, save.com. Get all of your disposables for a fraction of the cost that it usually costs. Again, this is a Yid that's giving it away. Special for people, it's subsidized so that people don't have to spend a lot of money in Covid Yontiv. And this is not like the ones that you get from the Chalikas or the ones that you get in the stores of cheap quality. This is high and top quality. The reason you're getting it at a better price is because it's coming straight from the manufacturer, delivered to your door. Buyn'save.com. The link is in the description. Check them out and have yourself a wonderful Yontiv. Thank you. You know I like making you aware of good stuff. So do our magazine, so heißt der Yingerman. And this is just an incredible magazine. I personally love it, and I enjoy reading it. So du reden nach Sachen wegen Business, interessante Sachen, was the ganze Family can enjoyen. So do a extra magazine, was kommt heraus, was Frauen can enjoyen. It's just an incredible magazine. And if you have an ad for your company and you haven't placed it into this magazine, the deadline is Monday night. So make sure, I'm going to put the number of Mendy Reisman. He is the sales guy, a good guy. Reach out to him. He is going to help you place your ad. Even if your ad is not ready yet, they can still help you create an ad for your company, for your brand, so that you are seen by over 35,000 people, Mitzvah Shem, on this upcoming Yontiv. Make sure you can send, if you want to subscribe to the email list, you can subscribe, send a message to subscribe at theyingerman.com so that you can see and get their email, or I'll send their WhatsApp number where you can just stay in touch with them and see interesting updates about the magazine. Enjoy. So, Mendy, how does it feel, first of all, to be Mendy Twerski. How does it feel to be you? So many people look up to you, they follow you, they love your work, your music. How does it feel to be you?
So, first of all, it's an honor to be here. Ellie, for real,
Yeah.
thank you so much. And ich habe gesehen, es ist getaggt Nächten, and it's
Yeah.
been like 300 likes, 300 votes, and you're like, I wonder if he's gonna get the 300 votes, you know what I mean?
Wow.
But you got it.
Und wir bekommen 500.
Yeah.
So, sag Menschen haben gewollt, das Schmiesel geschehen. Und sag Menschen haben mich gedM'd. Like, and by the way, ich habe schon gehabt auch gemacht von Sag Vater, als ich machen einen Podcast mit dir.
Right.
But it's just that, sie gewinnt das Jahr der Schmeier. Like, somebody mentioned it, I was like, okay, lass mal sehen, zu der Oilem ist echt dabei. But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so how does it feel to be Mendy Twerski? It's a hard question.
Yeah.
It's a trick question, but
Yeah.
the truth is I know myself beyond social media, beyond what anybody else knows. So for me, how does it feel to be I just feel like I have you know, because I started off in the beginning, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Ich kann schreiben music, you know, ich schreibe music, and I really want people to listen to it.
Right.
And then Get Morgan came, and it just changed my whole entire career. It just took off, you know,
Right.
like the first Dakar, and plötzlich it's a whole new game. Guys off a plane.
Right.
That's what happened, and I wasn't ready. I remember I reached out to Nachman. I was like, Nachman, what is happening? And then I came back to America, and boom, we haben angefangen wieder weiter zu tun und dort. Menschen haben angefangen riefen privately zu sein Hase, zu singen für seine Kinder, like Get Morgan, playing. Just come to my house and play with your guitar for my kids for 5 minutes. I was like, so du hast am missing in the Yiddish Welt. You can like. I thought there's only weddings and those type of jobs. You can get invited to people's houses. That was crazy.
Right.
So how does it feel to be Mendy Twerski? I'm so thankful to God. So thankful. That's
Beautiful.
it.
That leads me to my next question. I feel like we are very different. Like, I'm what they call, I guess, an influencer, or some would call it maybe a celebrity today's days. But you're a musician, you're an artist. But you also hast auch genutzt the techniques von der heutige Zeiten, which is social media and Instagram, of course, to get yourself out there. Meaning, you have more views on an Instagram reel than you have probably on your biggest YouTube video.
Right.
So, talk to people a little bit about that. Like, how do you see yourself? Is this a singer? Is this an artist? Or is this a celebrity? Because when you describe that people called you down to sing a few songs for their kids, that doesn't come necessarily because you're a singer. That comes because you're also like a celebrity, an influencer. You have an influencer power. That's my question.
question. So I'll tell you what, I think that celebrity means two things. Du zwei meine statuses von celebrities. Du eine celebrity, das heißt celebrity status. Kennst du einen Kecher, kennst du einen Papi Steak, kennst du mal Chef Sachen in Miami, but you're a celebrity. Why you're a celebrity? Because du bist famous. So the celebrity status. Noch du einer was is a celebrity. Einer was sein Job ist a celebrity. Einer was steht auf sein Instagram Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Most of the time, geht around in a cloud because he's not showing off his talent really. His Instagram is his business. His business is being a celebrity and selling whatever it is, whether it's a course or it's merch, or it's andere Menschen was trying to life coaches, yeah.
Right.
This is a andere Mine celebrity. Right. But then of course every artist and jeder Singer was famous of Instagram hat a celebrity status. So this is wieso ich zerteile es. I'm definitely a celebrity, but I would say that I would put myself into the gate if ich bin an artist, ich bin a singer, you know, I sing, I'm an artist. And not necessarily because I'm different than other artists, mach mich ein andere Mine artists, it's plain, ich halte this is the neue Weg von wie also you get yourself out there. Because if you're a new guy, you just came out of yeshiva and you want to drop your first single, how will people know to listen to it? Hast du schon vielleicht ein Kontext zu schicken, so ein Posten auf Status? Like, how are you going to get out there?
Right.
So let's do the Instagram algorithm, was die likes set off, and poof, the test to get out of it.
Exactly.
Fängt zu dran, you know.
Look at that, right? At 21, and you have more views probably than think of it, than MBD can ever have on his YouTube channel or Spotify.
Right.
Like, do you know already the number of how many views you have, like collectively? Do you have a number? Is it counting?
So we have numbers on everything. Weißt du, some streams numbers and some streams haben and some not of 24/6 lines. Haben über 1 million streams.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and 20, which is like it's funny.
You know,
I would never think this
I'll
would
tell you
happen.
what's funny. I'm curious if somebody like MBD actually has that amount of streams.
So on 24/6 possibly. Because
Right.
24/6 is a nice concept. Ich habe es gemacht jetzt als dan Jingle kennst an Geider and hit of an MP3 from 24/6.
Right.
He listens to your song offline, and not only you get paid for it, but it gets filed.
No way.
Yeah,
Oh, I
but eine
didn't even
stream
know
dan
that.
zag offline
Offline.
of 24/6. Because jede Mal die comes to home connects
That's
to
crazy.
Wi-Fi, it updates itself,
Right.
and you get paid for streams. So on 24/6, it's possible for singers to have their numbers. I don't think ich bin der einzigste Singer auf 24/6 hat über a million streams.
Wow.
I mean, it depends because ich habe sehr wenig songs auf 24/6. Ich habe schon 5 of 6 songs auf 24/6.
So it's the 5-6 songs that they're listening
Get
and
Morgan
listening
Alliance is 250,000
Oh my
streams.
God.
Tamido Heavy T has almost 150,000 streams.
to. Yeah.
Another song has like 250,000 streams. It's crazy.
Yeah.
24/6 is it's definitely the new base of Jewish music.
It's a
in
great
way.
plan. I didn't plan to give them a shout out, but the fact that they put up my podcast so effortlessly, like a lot of people asked me, and I told my manager, I'm like, you know what, reach out to them, try. They said right away, yes, we'll put it up. I think I'm only in the adult section, so I'm surprised you're saying kids can
possible.
listen for me. Because we talk about mental health and stuff like
It is
that.
possible. I don't know how it
But I
works.
also saw in the first week I got like 1,000 listens. I think that's a nice amount.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
also,
very-
die Chaps, ze hebben een algorithm. Ze hebben een For You page. So if einer trefft, dann sag,
it
got
means they
this somehow.
searched it.
yeah.
Oh,
It means
wow.
either he searched it, oder it's in an andere podcast, because ze haben their algorithm is not Spotify. That's
Right.
one thing I can say. They're not working like Spotify. Spotify rechnet aus. Okay, die hast der Singer, you might like also
Oh,
this
they
style
put
of
it in a
music.
playlist.
They put it together through genres and other stuff.
Right.
Ze haben apples.
How
but
many Spotify listens do you have?
this year, like we just finished off a year. Ich meine, in which September we finished off a year, and no, in December we finished off the year, and we had like 250,000 streams, like just from this year
Right.
on Spotify,
Right.
which is it's like 5 more the amount
Yeah.
that gehad that you had.
Yeah, I know how much it is because I used to do Mechul Schnitzlers. That's also how we connected in a sense because I was
Yeah,
doing
from
music
Mechul.
for Mechul and you were, wow, that is a big number. I know Mechul used to bring in about, I think it was 10,000-15,000 streams a month. Like, it's a
Yeah.
big number, but it's not what you just described.
250,000 streams it blew us away. And last year, ich mache music lang so 4 years. The first year was my total amount of streams the whole year, like 15,000-20,000 streams. It was nice.
Okay, right.
Second year, it was like 30-40. The next year was 50. And then the next year, 250.
Right.
So give us a tons of
Right.
right.
So next year, we're projecting 1 million, by Ezra Hashem,
Bezrat
right? In
Hashem,
2025, 1 million streams, right? That's it. I want to ask you a question. A lot of people are saying, like, Hante Getzaten, can you... And it is funny, because some people, like, I knew them, like, as a business guy, and I know they're selling insurance, and the next day, hey, please post on status my new single. Like, it did became a little bit, like, it started becoming a little bit of a joke, like, the amount of people putting out music. What are the benefits of that jeder eine kann sich gaan even naar Spotify, YouTube en naar overlagen met music? Wo zijn de males ervan en wo zijn de gesroenes, in your opinion, as an artist?
So, you're about to hear a very different opinion than anybody else, because
Okay.
Menschen kicken is so side interesting. People that come from outside of the music world, Menschen some kind of creative music, they don't really know what goes into it. So how much should I do? Okay, my guy's a producer, mit Sultan, and macht das. But today, the world of music is so much more complex. Ja, lass mal sagen, die was rausgeben, der erste Song. So where would you start? Couldn't das schreiben den Niggen, right? It's once a Niggen geschrieben, it never stays the same when it goes to the studio. You always have to change it. So that means that you can't just stam arrangen in a studio, recording a vocal, in stam nemen a playback von ergens, einer was ich mache a playback in the samlegen. Die mis ganz a producer, was record on vocals, weiß wie man like drauf the vocals, weiß wie man like alles daran. But basically, to sum it all up, it costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of time. So when somebody releases a song, he has to know why he's doing it. If you're doing it because also wie es gesagt, ja, es ist einer, was öffnet a Sheikh store, and the next time released a song. It's not an issue, and just the opposite. Es do beautiful music. Ich allein habe friends, ja, ich bin in the music industry, so Menschen weißen sich die music, so they show me their stuff, unreleased music. Ich sehe beautiful songs, das sag mal, und das sag mal schäme ich mich, because ich bin like, nicht famous, und macht das alle songs, kick mich und ich bin famous, and my music compared to this is gut nicht.
Wow.
Like, I really feel like that sometimes. But das ist ein, als nicht jeder Mensch kann es afforden. Es ist auch, es do zwei Sachen, was liegt in Music. Es ist ein Sache von es wollen herausgeben, als Menschen sollen hören an Music, und noch du Menschen, was haben lieb the fame. And it's nothing wrong to love the fame. It's okay to like the fame.
Right.
But you have to know what you're doing. Don't be stupid. Don't just throw out $10,000 of a beautiful music video und kein Plan. Ob du willst nehmen dein career to change, if you're not throwing stones in the water.
Right.
It has to extra $10,000. You have to look at it as an investment.
Yeah.
And you have to see if you get back for your investment or not.
Right. I love that you touched on the fame part because I know, like, part of my business is web and media. We do social media marketing. And many times I tell people that this is the new way to spread your business,
That's for sure.
to make awareness, is by being out there. And sometimes for business owners, it's a very hard decision. Like, oh, I'm putting myself out, I'm putting out my face. But I always tell them, So there's the option of staying where you are and your business is decreasing and you're just losing money or just not making money. And there's the option of putting yourself out there, doing the uncomfortable, and putting yourself out there to, yes, make business. So I do see it as being out there as a very beneficial thing, and I think that eventually I think everybody will do it. Like, we're still sitting here and I'm, like, in a sense, a leader in the podcast industry or in the influencer industry, right? Like, I think when I started this a few years ago, that did this. That's why
Nobody ever did
people
this.
like me and you, we were so rare, and you still are rare. But it's just funny because die redst ook het wegen een up-and-coming door that you see that's going to continue to be creative. I think me seht hand a shift in the Bucherim that we have, that jeder einer is schon hat schon knowledge, hat schon information, they know more, they see more. Do you feel like your audience is the younger Bucherim? And if yes, what is your message to them? How do you try to inspire them?
Okay, so first of all, this is definitely do a certain, a sehr große percentage of my audience is in the age that he describes. I would say the age from like 15 to 25, 26. Sehr große percent of my audience. I would say like over 30%. Nicht my ganze audience. It used to be like a year ago. It used to be based on that number. It was like 70% at least, just in their age rate.
Okay.
But by now, I blew up a lot. I grew with a lot of following in the past year. Weißt du, ich bin auf Plätze. So I would say as es ist sehr possible, als Menschen gehen umkommen zu Social Media und Menschen gehen es umkicken, also wie die kickst es un. Aber the fact is, als die Menschen, die junge Chevre, sie haben es schlieb right now because they live in an industry, they live in a community, wie nicht überall macht das ein größer Chilik. For example, in Borough Park, ja, ob ein grocery store in Borough Park will advertisen, ist nicht der beste Move, als er aufgehen auf Social Media. Ich hab's gesagt,
Yeah.
G&G though, I feel G&G auch, das ist nicht der beste Move, als er aufgehen auf Social Media. But a real estate company, oder a ice cream store, was try to attract Menschen, was kommen von weitere Plätze, a restaurant, das alle Plätze, they would need it. Jetzt, es ist ein paar Wegen von Branding. You can brand it either with the owner of a store. Kannst du the owner von der Store kommt allein raus und sagt hi, also wie Papi Steak, for example, ja. Und kommt raus allein und sagt hello, I am whatever, this is my restaurant, in also wie Muse, brand auch jetzt eine Company mit einem allein.
Right.
Oder kannst du das Brand anders. Du businesses das nehmen a business model, das hiren a business model. So a store doing a company doing Lakewood, das hat die in Closets, got ein Interview da, nach paar Jahren zurück. Sie haben ein paar Models, das arbeiten für sie. Sie haben ein Model in New Jersey, in New York.
Wow.
Und sie sind, so wie die sagst, ein Boss, das will nicht allein aufgehen. Sollte für ein Model, das ist an der business model. I don't know what the cost is, but I'm assuming it's whatever, a couple $100 a month probably. So it probably has a contract type of thing.
Right. So, and now why do you feel that your music is connecting to specifically young people, but also even older people? But why is it connecting to these young Bucherim?
I think because Menschen haben lieb zu sehen, people don't believe in themselves until they see, also bis die kannst dich allein sehen in the mirror successful, you will not believe in yourself.
Okay.
Meaning you don't actually have to be successful right now, but if you can look in the mirror and see a version of yourself that is successful, you will feel better because you believe, you have hope. It's called like light at the end of the tunnel. If you see that you can one day be in a good place.
Yeah.
So ich feel wenn Menschen kicken auf mich, sie sehen meine ganze journey, you know, my journey was pretty much on social media. Ich bin auf social media when I was 16 years old and now I'm 21. So people saw how the Mendy that got kicked out of yeshiva and had a ton of hate came out to social media. And then 17 years old, they saw the Mendy that went to Israel and started releasing music, but was still a bit like this. And then 18, they saw another Mendy, and then they watched me growing. Of course, it's not everybody, but I'm sure it's do dedicated chevros and shundat, like from the beginning. Ich mache more messages. Somebody came to me actually last week. I was by a party, and someone comes up to me and is like, Mendy. He comes to me and he's like, "Are you Mendy?" I'm like, "Yeah." No way, I followed you 5 years ago. You went live with Mendy Levy, like back in the day. You went live then. I'm like, you remember? I was live with you on Instagram, and oh my God, you got so famous. It's crazy.
Right.
I'm like, it's interesting to see somebody that knew me then versus now, and like see how different. They look at me like, whoa, like what happened to you? Did you go for a makeover somewhere? Like it's not just that, but the whole vibe and everything. But
and how do you deal with the fame? At the end of the day, fame is a big thing, and I see you in Israel, and in Israel also people know you because you do Israeli music, you work with Israeli producers as well.
Right.
So how do you deal with the fame?
So it depends where,
And
when,
by the way,
what.
if I can add, for me it's a little bit different because I'm an influencer. I'm supposed to be a people's person,
Right.
so my fame is not going to influence it so much. But when you have a guy that's always on music videos and he has a whole career under his name, when you see him in person, it's like, wow, this is the guy.
You
Even
run
when
up
I
to
saw
him.
you today the first time, I was like, wow, it is the
I've seen it for a long time. Allah.
So yeah, and we haven't seen each other in a long time. But I'm saying, like, it's how do you deal with it? Because you obviously see the reactions of those people. Do you like it? Does it get to you? Does it bother you sometimes?
So I like it to a certain extent, you know. Sometimes I love my fans. I really do because I'm working for my fans, you know.
Yeah.
Weißt du, wenn ich mache supper for the mishpocha and jeder an essen, it's like, wow, Ellie, this food is so good. You feel
Yeah, yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel when people tell me, Mendy, I love your music. But it does get tough sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. If you go out with somebody on a business meeting and you're like
Yeah.
talking, or they guess there's a family member, or they're of a date even,
Right.
and somebody just walks up to you and is like, oh my God, are you Mendy Twerski? Can I have a selfie? Jetzt du mature Menschen, was acten also, and ich muss sagen mal für immature have, especially in Israel. I walk on
Oh,
the
yeah?
shuk, I can get slammed from one side of the shuk to the other side of the shuk easily.
Wow.
Because du kommt an, hallo, und ich markiere dich mal TikTok, boom, ich stoß mich, ich fliege an der Apple Store auf der andere Seite. Und ich komme nachher, Rega, da mal Instagram, was sei Rabbi Yiddish, boom, ich fliege zurück zu der anderen Seite.
Right.
So I started, in the beginning I was like, okay, you know what, I'm done. In zijn gewinnen het Israel zusammen, ik heb gezegd, ik wacht niet door de shock.
Wow.
So we avoided the shock at any cost. It was crazy.
Right.
But
The
then-
shook is probably a danger for you.
The shook
There's
is
always going to be somebody that recognizes
But
you.
then at a certain point, I calmed down because I realized they mentioned, zij wil niet gezwaaid. It's not what they're
100%.
doing. What they're trying to do, they want to interact with me. So the second ich was as, ich bin nicht a celebrity, wo die kannst nur kicken, nicht touchen, weiß ich mal.
Yeah.
Ich bin nicht ein Neure, nicht
Yeah.
ein neues Sicker.
Yeah.
Come talk to me. You like my song at Morgen?
Yeah.
Which part do you like? You like the beginning more, or do you like
Right.
the rap? I love interacting with those people. The second you show them that you're here to interact with them, they're light.
Right. For me, sometimes I feel like it's like healthy validation. Like, ich ben happy when a mens get me a compliment. I love compliments, and my love tank is very big. Like, ich can accept nasach compliments, and it's still gonna feel good.
I'm the same way.
That's
I'm
right.
not, it's nicht linked, and this is the best. Emotional support is real. Every
Right.
person needs emotional support. Imagine
Right.
you stehst auf in der Früh und keiner sagt dich, ich sehe es geht an.
Yeah.
Das wacken zu Spiegel und sagen für dich allein.
Right. Right.
That's, you know? But
Exactly.
that's the point is everybody loves emotional support.
Right.
But sometimes it gets tough, you know? Like people have to know where to mind their business and where to give the space to the artist. Und ich verstehe, because es ist schwer. Weißt du, wie sag mal Menschen sagen, ich habe mich verloren, ich habe nicht gewiss, was zu tun.
Right.
Sag mal, wenn die siehst da einen, was die kennst von Social Media, für der erste Mal in person, that is what happens. Your brain goes into a shock. You're like, ich bin auch ein Fan von Menschen. Ja? Also
Right.
ich sehe, sag mal, riesige Celebrity in Israel, I'm like, ich kenne für Social Media. And sometimes I forget. So since I have it with myself, I know how to be nice, you know.
Right.
Ich hoffe so. I hope no celebrity ever had any issues with me.
Right.
Please, if yes, come talk to me. I hope nobody ever had any issues with me.
Yeah.
But the point is, as I try, you know, I try my best.
Who is the biggest celebrity that you were that told you that they listened to your music and it made you feel good?
I think the actual biggest celebrity that came to me, that walked up to me.
Yeah.
So I had two. Within the Jewish community, in the Hasidische community, I got Beri Weber.
Okay.
Sie kommt zu mir bei Nachal Nevea and sagt mir,
Yeah.
no way, Mendy Twerski, I give my kids to listen to Get Morgen every single day.
Okay. Wow.
That's what Beri told me.
Beautiful. Very easy.
And
Good
then
people.
outside of the industry, heb ik gehad Static. Static geeft me
Yeah, I saw in the video of Instagram.
In das
pretty crazy. Right, that's very good. I watched it so many times. It's so funny. Static is big.
Static is
Right?
very big.
Can you see yourself do a song with him, or you're afraid to ask him, or?
So I'm not afraid to ask him. I ga getried, ga message nach him.
I think it would be good. I think it's good for him. It's good for you, especially the Israeli singers. They're not afraid to collab. They're very, very collaborative. You know what I'm saying?
Yes and no.
Ich feel wie bei unserer Chassidische Music, se passt nicht. Se passt nicht. Again, ich muss reden auf der Industrie, but du hast so viele große Singers, and if they only would have collaborated, you never see a collaboration. Like, it takes 30 years for a simple collaboration to happen between, ich weiß nicht, Shweki and Lipa. Like,
I'll tell you the way I look at it. Wenn ich kick auf collaborations, kick ich selber gewoon so. Wenn beide Menschen sind auf derselbe Level, geht einer oder raufgehen, oder einer geht raufgehen. So can
Really?
a collaboration. This is my opinion
And
for collaborations. I'll give you an example. Imagine two influencers have exactly the same amount of followers, and exactly the same famous. They collab.
I feel like it brings you up. What do you mean?
So it could bring you up, but it also has the potential of people seeing the video. They're like, okay, I see two even people over here. Somebody automatically in their head goes up, and somebody goes down. Because I kennen nicht an even. Wenn Menschen sehen zwei Menschen zusammen, eibig sieht einer aus besser wie der andere. Menschen sehen nicht zwei Celebrities even. So let's say, ich sehen einem singen Yiddish und English zusammen, and lass mal sagen, the Yiddish and the English singer are on the same level, dann muss kein Mensch sagen, okay, I like the Yiddish better. Oder some Menschen sagen, I like the English better.
Collaborations all the time, and you don't feel like einer geht jetzt tracht nach die bis
So
lower.
I
Das ist gemacht mit L11, right?
So L11
Ich
first
feel
of all is
wie du
much
bist-
bigger than me.
I told you, in my opinion, I don't think so. Like, respect to
Views-wise
Ellie, a
not.
nice guy, but
Right. Instagram views bist du gerecht.
are you talking about loyal
I'm talking
listeners?
about, yes,
Right.
like target
Right.
audience. Like I told you, I told Ellie before the podcast. I feel like of the amount of views that I get, only a very, very little percentage of that is my actual target audience, which means is the people that I'm trying to target.
Right.
Alle andere Menschen, ich hab 350 comments auf mein latest reel that blew up. Ich gemacht hab so ein reel mit so einem store mit ski masks und Sachen.
Yeah.
Es hat 3.500 likes, es hat 400 comments, I would say.
I saw that. This is
At
the one
least-
for Piram, right?
Yeah. At least 150 von den comments and in Palestine, mit
Ah.
like Sachen like that.
Right.
Why? Because obviously that's what blew up the reel. That's what
Right.
made Instagram should show it to more people that are also within my target audience.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of the views are not my target
Right.
audience.
In a sense, you also took an entirely different approach that I think you release music just on Instagram. Am I correct with that? I mean,
Not
just like these little
everything,
30, 60
yes.
second videos.
so. I'll tell you that's an interesting thing, by the way. I don't like it's an interesting topic because I was thinking like this. After Get Morgen, yeah, I released Get Morgen and it blew up like sag mehr wie any andere songs I've ever gemacht. So we sat down, so we sat with Menachem Friedman, the whole team, Menachem and everybody, and we were thinking, why did Get Morgen blow up? Now, of course, there is a billion reasons that you can say, but then there's people that are professional at this and they can sit down and see why did this song really blow up. Of course, it's a good topic and it's a song that everybody can hear every day. Of course, it's a catchy tune and of course, it's a good music video and of course, everything. But which one of those 10 reasons was the key? And we came to the conclusion that the reason why it blew up was because people were already waiting for it before it came out. Let me explain. People did not know that I'm going to be dropping a song in Good Morning. But Moshe Berkowitz hat gemacht Good Morning video, a Woche vor dem. In Matti Breyer hat schon gemacht damals der wedding intro mit sagen, Good Morning. Es ist schon angefangen das. People, they didn't know it, but they were expecting a Good Morning song to come out. Meaning, ich got that opening do. Ich got so wie off on a parking spot. It's like a product. It's like saying that you're selling a product that everybody already wants.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead for releasing a song, schreiben, hey everybody,
So
I
you're saying
released
it was
a new
the
song.
topic you're saying? That
No, I'm saying it's the fact that the people were waiting for it before it came.
Why were they waiting? You haven't released something in a while, or they were just looking for something fresh?
Because Get Morgen was going viral. Meaning it's gegangen viral within the Hasidische community. It wasn't going viral in the ganze Welt, but in order for us to go viral in the ganze Welt, wieso fängt sich so? Es fängt sich mit cheers, in comments and likes von deiner actual community. Dadurch dem, was man sieht, wie sie dann target, nicht nur auf Instagram, same thing on YouTube, same thing, also ich arbeite es in Fact und mit CS auch. Also ob dein actual audience hat es lieb, schicken sie es heraus zu friends and family, es wird automatically neue audience kommt sie, right?
Yeah.
So this is exactly the Sache, was sie geschehen do. Sie gehen in die Hasidische community, ich gesehen Moshe Berkowitz's video, they started loving it, sie geworden a trend, mir jeder ist gepostet auf Status,
Gedenk,
and a Woche später kommt Mendy Twerski aus das Video, Get Morgen, so people didn't even have, but they were waiting for it. They knew a week before that it was going to come out.
Right.
They didn't actually know, but in their brain, it was already accepted.
Right.
So the same Sache, in some getracht, how can we make a song that people should accept it before it's out even? Instead von machen a method, als Menschen sollen kommen zu dich und sollen sich beten, like, please, I'm begging you, go listen to my song on YouTube. Please, post it on status. Please do this. How about people would be like, please let me post this on status. Please bring the song to Spotify instead of, hey, the song is available now on Spotify. So this is what we started doing. We started coming up with teasing methods and ways to post it on Instagram, which if it doesn't go viral, okay, blop this in the archives. And it's music. If it does go viral, like it happened with Tamid Ohavati, Yiddish version, Chagat Migdalim went viral the same way. Chagat jetzt andere songs so younger viral, was Reiros geben noch Schwierig, that's our company, a ganze Masse, but it's a solid method of making people want your song so that you don't have to ask them, please go click the link and listen to it.
Right. So I have a question, because sometimes, that's beautiful. Sometimes I ask myself a question like, for was ben ich der was red? Like, why do I have the shofar, as they call it? Like, why are people listening to me? I'm just a 27-year-old kid. I'm like an entrepreneur and I'm an influencer, but I'm not, you know, I'm not knocking myself, but at the end of the day, there's no specific reason as to why people are listening to me and the podcast. These podcasts are getting now on average, like, 10, 20, 30,000 views,
Wow.
just that we can track, and it's an insane amount. So, in a sense, the question is also the answer. Like, because I question why people listen to me, that's why I also try to put out nice content, information, motivation. It's one of the things Lipa always told me, is that as long as people listen to you, you keep on giving out stuff, because it shows you that the attention is on you. But my question to you is, how do you feel when you see yourself, you're 21 years old, in Dimach's music that people love and listen to every day? That carries a huge responsibility. You're inspiring an entire new generation. So how do you feel with that responsibility, and how do you carry it?
So first of all, the first time that I realized that my responsibility was bigger, like right after Morgen blew up, it took a few months for me to realize what happened.
Okay.
Because irgendwie net ist es yeah. The song was viral, the views were going up, but ich habe es nicht gesehen monetized, nicht nur in Geld, but I didn't see it like working in shows and concerts, because net ist everything just continues. And Get Morgen specifically went viral in the Jewish community. Like the Freie haben lieb alle an rap, mit Sachen auf sich like auf TikTok.
Yeah.
But sie sind nicht gegangen für Get Morgen, which was a very interesting change,
Right.
yes. So, when I came back to America and I came aufpicken from the airport, and it's like, okay, we're going right away. And so we got a festival. And noch the next Woche sind wir gegangen zu Modi. And Montag haben wir got a show dort. And Dienstag haben wir got a show, October 7 haben wir performed in Manhattan. So wir haben Michigan. So we got a Chodesh von jeden Tag. Ich bin ungefüllt. Aber ich came aufpicken from my house 7 a.m.
Wow.
And we went to sleep like at 12. At 12 he dropped me off. Like literally. Woke up, gym, out. Woke up, gym, out. Every single day. And I started feeling like really, really like out of control, because how can I continue my life? How can I post something on Instagram without thinking before, is this something that people want to see from me? Because I felt like there's so many more people that actually not only watch me, but they care about what I do. And so first I chickened out. First I was just, okay, stop posting stories of Instagram. I'll post my links when it's out, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, I never came back. Like I used to post a lot of stories, like vlog, my ganze Tag and the ganze Sach.
I remember with the coffee, it's a free.
I can't do it just because, not because I think it's wrong, but I think it's unnecessary. I feel like it used to be necessary. Wenn ich nicht gewiss, was ich will in my career, when I was trying to gain new followers and everything.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just, the Redel schon gedreht. You know, but right now it's turning. I don't have to do anything anymore.
So fortune.
Yeah. All I have to do is just create more music and the Saros game. But Achrais is very, very hard.
Right. So when you write your music, what are you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you come up with ideas? Because I know you write, you compose, you're the full package.
Right.
So how do you decide, okay, my guy reden van, and the topics in your songs are very up to date. So how do you choose what you're going to talk about and what not?
So I'll tell you what, I'm a person that I have an opinion on everything. I don't talk a lot, I'm not a person that would like put my opinion out there, but ich bin ein Mensch, ich habe eine Opinion wegen jeder Sache. So wenn ich selbst eine Masse geschehen, it goes into my head. And if it's something that bothers me, or something wie ich sehe, a Gedanke, oder a Haskell, or like something that makes my heart shiver, any from that style Gedanken, whether it's something that makes you happy or sad, or if it's something that uplifts you, it goes into my brain, and it becomes one of my morals, it becomes one of my things to do. And then whether if I'm just walking on the street and it's a tune platzt daran on my cup, it happened a billion times. And some of them like blew up and some of them did not. Man Welt, Lemushel, I got the song Man Welt. That was a song, ich habe gemacht auf Atanas off Route 9, Du Leben Danken, and it just came into my head. And I called Menachem Friedman right away, let's get it produced, and it was out 2 months later.
Right.
But then we have different songs, like Get Morgen, that was created in the studio. I came to I was like, okay, I got my song.
Oh, wow.
Let's see, which topic are we going to choose? And ich bin like, this is Get Morgen. Ich bin mit Yossi Fried in the studio auch. And Yossi was like, okay, let's do Get Morgen. Und es muss weggesetzt. So gefangen schreiben die ganze Sache. Get morgen. So mir gedacht aufkommen. Ich hab's nicht wie schwer. Ich hab sie selbst a done project.
Right.
Und so mir gedacht aufkommen mit, okay, so what are the struggles that people are struggling with in the morning? Okay, so du Menschen, was haben nicht kann heiß Wasser für the coffee. Jetzt weiß ich von meinem eigenen Blut, ich meine, jetzt ist es roh. Das preheaten the heiß Wasser. Das sei nicht popular, jetzt ist es roh.
Das preheaten the shower.
Jeder sagt, das preheaten that. There's nothing you can do, just walk in.
Right.
Gefährlich. But some shit kommen. Fix them all.
how you described before your schedule, and I'm very interested in this because they net me gedaan a bisschen in celebrityism, and you can share as much as you want. But you have a manager
Right.
that joined us
Nachman.
today, Nachman. Thank you, Nachman, for
Big
joining.
shout out.
Big shout out. Tell us a little bit about that. When did you decide to work with him? And does he take your calls? And ich zoek is because in a sense ben ich jealous. Weil ich
Right.
ben mijn eigen manager. I finally just hired somebody to be my podcast manager because I noticed my podcast, it became the #1 podcast, like in terms of interest and views and Sachen. So I said, it's impossible to manage. You can physically see I have a manager sitting on the podcast 8 hours a day, working on the shorts, the reels, the sponsorships, editing the videos of the sponsorships, putting it in, making sure that it's live on 30 platforms. We just launched a hotline, launched it on 24/6. Every episode that comes out, you got to make sure that it's live and
Send it
working.
to everybody.
Yeah, so it's a crazy amount of work. So for you, and Baruch Hashem, I'm grateful for it because I see it as a good business. Like we
It
have
is.
sponsors on every episode. People are reaching out. They want to work with us. There is memberships, to which I'm super grateful to every person. Almost every day, somebody joins the membership. Like it touches my
wow.
heart. You get what that means? Like these
Somebody
are
doesn't
people.
just want to see what you post, he wants to
Exactly.
see more.
Exactly.
It's a great feeling.
It's the best feeling ever. They want to see more, the behind the scenes, and they want to support. And they're paying monthly. Like it's a very good feeling. So Taka, thank you for every member, and thank you for every person that's considering to join. And if you join, thank you. But so when did you notice that, okay, you gotta, so what does he do for you basically? And what does the average day look for you, especially
Okay.
now when you're here in America?
So now when I'm here in America, average day,
Yeah.
of course every day is different because every day we do something else, but it's basically the way it looks like. He is by me around, this time it's a bit different, so he comes a bit later. He's by me like around 8:30, 9ish, and by then I'm already after the gym, I'm already, you know what I mean?
You
Give
wake
enough
up early.
breakfast. I wake up very early. I need to.
Nice.
I
I see
can't-
you're very disciplined, and we got to talk about that. You're very disciplined.
It's hard
You're
work,
in the gym
man.
every day.
It's hard work.
You,
It's not
I've
easy.
seen your muscles. This is nice. It's impressive.
I
That really
appreciate it.
shows something. That gives respect to a person like crazy. Like, you know.
I feel like besides of respect, ook het aan mensen zat discipline.
Yeah.
He knows he can do whatever you want.
Exactly. Because eventually, like, yeah.
If you have discipline, you can accomplish. You are unstoppable.
Right.
Dus eigenlijk wie groot dat muscles is.
100%.
Als die best in gym and die guys die eten toch, even if you're not successful in your
Yeah.
workouts, you have discipline. And discipline is a shiggen zaak.
Albert Einstein, Albert Einstein has looked at the law of compound effect, that when you do something, it builds up and becomes bigger and bigger. Like when you invest money and it just grows and grows and grows, it's the eighth wonder, you know, because it's like a secret killer, you know. You keep
Right.
on going to the gym and then one day you notice, wow, I feel better, I look better.
That's exactly what happened with me.
Yeah.
And the motivation at that point, trust me, it goes from 47% to 99. Literally,
Right.
like it
Right.
flies
So
up.
what are you focused on right now? I heard you discuss before you're scheduled already to be in the studio. I know even
Yeah.
scheduling the podcast, you have a busy schedule coming
It's
up.
just
There was
now,
only 2 dates I was able to schedule. So, you know, so what are you doing now on an average day? You're doing shows, you're in studio producing money.
So we're focusing a bit less on shows right now because Sweet is coming up. So we
Uh-huh.
can't really.
Right.
Meaning we're working on a lot of shows, of course. Meaning we're working on set lists and on the whole entire idea,
Yeah.
but nothing is confirmed yet. It's a shame. We're working on a lot of big stuff, but you know, we'll share me at Hashem when the time is ready. But we're working right now basically on content. We're focusing on content. We like to have content backed up. Since I'm going to be going back to Israel in a month from now.
So you want to have videos shot here that you can release.
I went back to Israel 5 months ago. We had every single video that I posted on my Instagram in the past half year
Yeah.
was already set by the time that I came back to Israel.
Wow, who does that? That's him?
So it's so of course.
Or
there's-
you're that way? I know
I'll
you're
talk
also
about the
very
exact-
creative.
So I have my stuff that I do. I edit most of the videos by myself. I don't do
music
everything.
videos or the shorts?
The shorts and
Right.
whatever. I have like a eye, you know, like
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is,
Yeah,
cinematic eye or
creative
something
eye,
like
yeah.
that.
Very
But
nice.
it's more like cinematic. Like I can,
is that minutes?
yeah, like because it's not just creatives is within cinema, like within pictures and videos and in the event. So like I always like let's do a videographer. But it's like, for example, usually when you make a music video, you need to have a videographer and a director.
Okay.
Meaning, hast einer was actually gapt op de shots. Okay, maar ga je zeggen, we kennen trouwens de tears. Als du einer was gapt de shot in de camera, en nog doe ook het einde, was darf overkomen met de idee, als hij gaat rauskomen van de tier.
Right.
Very, not very rare, zijn is du als een zaak, als du zijn dezelfde mens. You cannot find. Tuto Media, does not do it.
Right.
Sroli Brancher is a director. Sroli is a director, and he brings along a videographer with him. So there's all kinds of ways that you can go about it. You can either hire a director and a videographer, but in my case, in every single one of my music videos for the past 2 years, I was the director.
Right.
I directed my own videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's impressive. I have another question, which is, I feel like when it comes in this industry, it's like a little bit of a gray area to talk about money.
Right.
And I'm very curious, how do you make money as in your career, and how do you spend money? Meaning, the machst a song, so it costs thousands of dollars.
So
How do you cover that?
So, I'll tell you what. There's, of course, it's limited how much I can share about this topic, but I can tell you one thing. First of all, it does not cost as much money as people think. Once you've been doing it for a long time and you get the hang of it, you figure out where you can cut out huge amounts of money that are unnecessary. Ich kann nicht reden nur schon Haare, but in der jüdische Welt, apart from the fact dass jeder einer ist also cut off of social media, der gewinnt cut off of social media, ist, dass Menschen wissen nicht die echte Prices für Sachen. So du Menschen, was können chargen $2,500 für etwas, das der Mensch kann bekommen mit einem Tropfen Cycle für $150.
Right.
And I don't want to say names and stuff. It's just it makes me sad. It makes me sad because the fact is that a Bucher will hand rausgeben sein erste Song kennt die Musik. He's not going to be able to figure it out. He's going to get lost in the way. He doesn't know how to direct a music video. He doesn't know how to take stuff. Ich darf nicht gehen zu producers because I can produce it by myself.
I love that.
I can get somebody that can do the music and I'll sit with him and I figure everything out. So this is first of all expenses wise. It does not cost as much as people think it costs. Second of all, I look at every song, not I, me and Nachman together, where we look at it as partners. He's like a manager, but without my manager, I would not be doing what I'm doing because we sat together and you always need, you probably know this, you definitely know this, as a second opinion is sometimes more important than your own opinion about yourself.
Yeah.
Because they see you.
Right.
You see yourself, of course. I know you think you're awesome, you are awesome, but I know he thinks he's awesome and everything, but like, Achi, you need somebody to tell you this can go out, and Achi, I know you think you look nice when you go like this, but nobody wants to see you blowing your nose or something. You know, it's like ideas like that.
Yeah.
So we decided together that it was the smartest thing to do. That I forgot what I was in the middle of saying. Was haben wir gerade mitten sagen? Wegen the expenses. So we decided the smartest thing to do is that we look at every project by itself as an investment. So I look at it like this, ich will jetzt release a song, so heißt get marketing, for example. And we're going to be putting it out, right? So we're going to be putting it on all platforms. Before concerts, right? Because right now we don't have our own concerts. We might get called on to other concerts, we might get featured and all those stuff, but this is not tied to the release. We want to see the amount of money that we're going to put out on this release, how long is it going to take us to make it back before profit? If we can make it back and we have our rules and our you know, the way the business works, because that's already, that has nothing to do with social media and that has nothing to do with me as a person or as a singer. It has to do with us as people and our business, you know. I'm also releasing music, but I also have a business. It's called Mendy Twerski Music. Right.
So that's why I'm asking about the money part. It's not because I want to get personal into you. I see it as a huge inspiration. Like, you're doing so much big stuff, and I know that it has to be costing a lot of money.
It does.
So answer number one is okay, that there's certain things where you were able to save yourself, which is super smart. Another way that probably happens, or maybe if you want to talk about it, is that you are probably making some amount of money and you're managing it well. If I understand correctly, what this game for do.
So we're definitely making money. Alle sources are not wichtig, but the streaming platforms, there's YouTube, there's 24/6, there's Zing, there's all platforms like that. And then we have a lot of ads. Menschen was kommen sehen advertising, some sponsors for jede video was kommen auf, and some there's a ton of different ways for us that we're making money. How much money is, of course, this is relevant, but the fact is, as we make sure that when we put out money from our pockets on a music expense,
it's gonna come
we
back.
make sure that it comes back. And this is just for business, our business perspective, because we don't want to be stupid. Also, we have angefangen, in the beginning from the podcast auch. Like, in the beginning from the Schmies, we were like, was a Bucher teen, will rausgeben music, hand geffen, a Schiech store, morgen get raus anlegen. It's a good idea, but don't be stupid. Just because you want everybody to be able to search your name on YouTube and see that you have a song, does not mean that it's rauswerf from $10,000.
Exactly.
So eventually you're not going to have to pay this amount of money for music. Das ist gerecht, but was willst du das dir? Die will sein als Singer? Dann ist okay. So lohnt sich. ob die hustles, die kannst es machen, und die siehst wie dann Nisches, because you know how important it is for a business to be different. So du 3 ice cream stores auf derselbe Gas. Warum soll ich gehen zu der ice cream store over the other 2 ice cream stores?
Right.
Restaurants, right? Warum soll ich gehen zu der restaurant over their restaurants? Was wie viele Restaurants? Und ich habe anyway a car. Ich kann drive in the Büro.
Yeah.
So everybody needs their niche. So if it makes sense, then definitely they should go for it. If not, mach sicher, dass einer geht, bekommt the song and get es heraus. So dich kosten kein Geld.
Right.
You know?
Right. One of the things that I wanted to touch on is I know that you had an interesting like teen life, like growing up, like you said, 16, 17, and you put yourself out there, and that's one of the first places probably where we connected. What do you think today for somebody struggling, a bucher going through as a similar experience, the 17, 18, 19, and it's rough for them? And I'm sure thousands of bucher in yeshiva guy, they all say, and that's whenever I go to the bar, park ich walk around and gourmet glad, I see a bucher buying a sandwich, and then they come over to me, jeder heet de goos, they tell me.
Wow.
And yeah, and so what can you tell, was kannst du sagen chizik, a wort van chizik for the bucherem, you know, to inspire them, but also in a sense of how they can take charge of their life. Like they look up to you, they see he took care of his life, ik bought a career, it is discipline, it is confident, at least that's what it looks like, right? What can you tell them about chizik, Werther?
So, of course, every one of those things is of Yashmiz for sich lines, but
Right.
I can sum it up.
Okay.
I can sum it all up together, and I can say one thing for them. I can say, as es ist nicht gering, it's definitely nicht gering, but everything, first of all, looking at the whole entire picture, me looking back at my past, I don't see how anything could have gone different. Ob anything, ob any kleine Detail wird gegangen anders, wollte ich jetzt gesetzt und du in der Bankel mit der Amount of streams, das ich habe auf Spotify.
Wow.
Ich habe sich gesagt, like, I wanted to release music. Mein Yeshiva hat nicht gelost. Wegen mein Yeshiva hat nicht gelost, habe ich gewollt release noch mehr. Das heißt, ich wenn release music, wollte ich release das Song, es wollte nicht gegangen, ich wollte overgeben the next year. And I would be right now in Tashich store, I guess, you know? But like,
Yeah,
it's
a
nothing
beautiful
wrong with
perspective.
it, but I wouldn't be where I am right now. So everything that has to happen is happening. So trust the Bashefer, he's got his plan, and you're definitely on the right track. As far as career, es ist definitely sehr serious Sache, and es ist sehr Sache awareness in the jüdische Welt. They don't educate us young that, allo, die guys davon feed a family, and die guys davon can also help na Vab, in Kinder, whatever, depending on how you choose your lifestyle, but you're gonna have to support the family. They don't really educate us so much on that, not because they don't want to, but it's a plain nicht du der richtige Mensch. In some English, it's man lernt math and spelling, in some Yiddish, it's man lernt Gemura and Rasha, so there's no
Right.
place really for this, you know? But I feel like everybody has to take it seriously. And if this is happens with the biscuit of them, don't be afraid to jump on it and do it. If this is the biscuit of electronics, figure out the wires, and then 3 uur fiestas to run an electricity company. Jump on your skills. Don't, sei nicht voll. In lernen ist keine schlechte Sache. I love learning. And ich lerne nach Hand jetzt. Like, Menschen sind like, oh, die lernst du nicht. Es ist so, like, die lernst. Ich like, ja, ich lerne. Menschen like, was heißt, was lernst du? Du bist auf Social Media. So, like, so.
Right.
Kannst du lernen sein auf Social Media auch. I used to be like that. I used to be like, okay, you know what, ich bekomme Social Media, ich warf weg die Gemurre, but that's a kinderische mindset. It doesn't work like that. That's not contradicting.
Right.
It's not really contradicting. Du kannst lernen und lernen, das ist ein Geschmack, von dem hat es lieb. Und wer hat es nicht lieb, so nicht lernen. Everybody should do exactly how they feel comfortable.
Right.
You know?
Beautiful answer. And I think, ich meine, they're starting to put this into the curriculum already.
I think
like
so
they're
too,
starting
lately.
to give people, kids, their space. And I think especially from what's yet recently, that just way too many people are not happy and they don't feel a purpose in living. I feel like you've created purpose and meaning for yourself again.
Yes.
Like, it sounds like you enjoyed to live your life, and it sounds like you enjoy waking up in the morning. How did
Definitely,
you become...
I bumped into hard times. I
Right,
had
that's
hard
what I'm
times, and
asking. How did you overcome it?
So first of all, I didn't stay quiet when I had hard times. I released songs wegen them. Ich hab a song wegen loneliness. I had times that I was by myself. Nachman wasn't here. Nachman still did not know who I was. And
Wow.
als sag andere Menschen wissen wer ich bin, haben nicht gewusst wer ich bin. And I was just like in Lakewood, you know, aufgestanden jeden in der Früh, gesehen was das in Hand. I got that job and ich hab nicht gut gefühlt, you know, I didn't feel full. Ich bin arbeiten mit Special Needs Kinder. Ich habe immer noch a job. Ich habe nicht gefühlt geht noch kids it until I came to Israel and I realized that, you know, I need a different type of life because I'm a different type of person and I need something that works for me. But ich habe struggled, and I think that I don't look at struggles as a mistake that you have to fix. I feel struggles is something that you just have to be able to live with it and push it through, because eventually, gas te gappen, as dan struggles, is gewesen the beste Sache für dich, because without your struggles, you wouldn't have been here.
Wow.
Jeder einer hat a certain point in seinem Leben, was kommt tun and feels successful. Jeder hat es.
Yeah.
Jeder hat es in seinem aspect, but everybody has a certain point, whether it's, ach, ich kauf da Haus, ach, ich kauf da Car, ach, ich treffe an Schiddich, everything that you think that you can do, when you get there, you're like, you feel successful. And then you look back and you're like, all of them, all their hard times, they brought me here.
Yeah, I love what you just said, because I was saying this morning, is similar. Like I said, the challenges don't necessarily change. If anything, they get bigger, right? Because you're growing a family, you're finding a relationship, you're growing your business, your career. We all grow, but it's the tools that we have and how to deal with them, the knowledge, the people that we meet along the way that can now help us, despite the fact that the challenges or the things that we have in life gets bigger and bigger.
That's true.
I wanted to ask you, Vizataka, how's the experience in Israel? I learned there like 7 years ago already, but how is it for you? Why do you enjoy it? How are you enjoying it? Hast du dieren daar? Talk a little bit about it. Like, just a celebrity, so it's like,
People want to know.
Kennst du schon regular dieren? Das ist doch zusammen staan met een schönere dieren. Of Jaffo, ich weiß nicht. I don't know. What's the lifestyle over there for you?
First of all, you're right, but you're also wrong, meaning, ich habe getracht exactly what you said. It's funny, you're like saying what I thought about a year when I first came to Israel. When I first came to Israel, I wasn't as famous as I am now, but I already felt famous. You know, people were already stopping me and everything. And ich bin umgekommen mit seiner Mindset. Ich bin ich bin a celebrity, ich kenne schon normale Dieren mit anderen Menschen, ich kenne nicht, like... Und ich habe mich angefangen schämen ein bisschen, because ob ich gleich mich herab zu anderen Menschen's level, I'm gonna lose my name celebrity.
Right.
But that was only because I was trying to be bigger. I was trying to be a bigger celebrity, and I was focusing on the fact that I'm a celebrity. And ich kann kicken auf gar nicht anders, because I was focusing so much on that.
Yeah.
It was a couple of years, was ich hab gewohnt allein zu Nadira, ich hab fancy Dieren und Sachen. And at a certain point I realized, die wohnst allein zu Nadira, nicht nur was kostet 80 Mal the amount. This is unnecessary. It's plain unnecessary. Ich bin nicht kein Gassen, ich bin nicht kein Wab, was wohnt mit mich.
Right.
Why do I need it? Was kann ich wohnen? And that's not only the only thing. Ich halt, als a settled, like, if you want to have a settled schedule, one of the best things to do is you learn how to cook at home. If you live by yourself, you have to cook by yourself every single day, breakfast, lunch, and supper. Imagine bist na Bucharam dira, mit, es darf schon mehr Bucharam, but ich will a pur gevre, jeder macht supper, andere Nacht. This is already something, was a Buchar darf haben. You're in Israel, this is just another tiny point, das kann machen dein Leben easier. Es kostet richtig billiger, wenn du nimmst da Dieren, und du hast dieselbe comfortability. I can get my bedroom by myself if I want, ich kann schlafen mit einer Freundin, aber ich will es. Menschen kicken on, die wohnen allein in einem Apartment via Flex. I think, als es nicht wichtig, was andere Menschen trachten wegen mein Apartment. Trachtst dich bei Uram, ich kann es afforden? Fine, ich bin Uram. Es macht echt nicht gechillig, wo die halt, because it's not going to change, you're not going to stop listening to my music or die halt. Ich bin Uram, und die Geist ist umfangen zu hören, oder die halt sich mehr rach. So like, it doesn't matter, my financial state. So,
and in general, the energy.
In general, the energy is, I figured it out, because du hast ein issue, and it's a sort of Zayrach Buchen, was coming land on that. They lose their schedule. They start waking up late, and that's what happens, because especially in the summer, nightlife is like very popular in Israel. You know, because it's in the shuk, bis 3, it's free. And then you get home at 4, so guys schlafen. So stehst du schon bis 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, whatever. You know, everybody has their own time, and then you can't go to sleep till late because bis jetzt aufgestanden. So also wird es den ganzen zerfallen. So ich hab kind of always set my schedule. Ich stehe auf jeden Tag 5 o'clock, 5:30, 5:45, in that range over there. Ich stehe auf, I put something into my body. A Schuh später bin ich im Gym. And then afterwards, by 9:30, I'm already on the street. You know, I do my thing. So, ich habe gesehen, als ich mir gevre, ich dachte, wenn ich so mir, meine Chabires and everything, mir rief das mir Bocheram, you know, was gewinnt. So, like, als ich gevre, they learn, but they learn 5-6 hours a day, and then they stay with 6 hours a day that they have nothing what to do. So I figured out how to split it apart in a way that my whole day should be interesting for me. This is so halt viel sagen, I should lose my motivation to do the rest of my day. Ich lege dann interesting, also wie machst du Konzert, ja? Was sicher machen, als du at 19 seconds of the concert, there's an episode of sound, and
Yeah.
about 29 minutes into the concert, there's an episode of sound. You have to do the same thing with your day. You have to make sure there's interesting stuff.
Right. So are you
So-
working every day on music? Like, what do you put
Yes.
into your
So
schedule?
I make sure every day I do something. Either other guy gaat Mendy Raab, was just on my
Yeah,
Instagram,
yeah.
mag met Mendy Raab Sachen. Other I work with Srully Branca Sachen. Ich arbeite mit
Right.
Yankee Cohen.
Right.
It's so Sachen projects since arbeite enough. It doesn't actually come out on Instagram. Like Sachen was in playing like, okay, let's record it and then we'll see eventually how we're gonna do it. And some of that database from hundrede unreleased songs.
Oh wow.
Not everything is ready to go out, of course, but like
Right.
just like Sachen was, if we need it, you know, like
Yeah.
we're working on a couple of big stuff, albums and Sachen. We have to figure it out. We have to know what goes where.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
Impressive.
yeah, just like popped out. But you know, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
It's- You know, we got to keep it
That
back
is the
because
next level, I feel like, right?
I feel like the next thing that I could possibly do is drop an album. I've done everything already.
Wow.
I had a hit song, I had a
Right.
hit cover, I had everything.
Right. That is my next question. Where do you see yourself? What's Taka the next step for you? And do you feel that you're okay? You're ready to handle it, like mentally? Do you feel you have the capacity for it? Does it scare you?
So it scares me to a certain extent, but by now I do believe that I have the capacity for it, just because like I did not believe in myself a year ago, and the amount that I grew in the past year showed me how much I should believe in myself.
Right.
Because if you see that everything that you do, people like it, like we said before, the emotional support goes up and up and up and up, and at a certain point you feel, let me do more for the people. So we lieb gesagt,
Right,
ja,
right.
Menschen hören sie, lass mich die mehr.
So you're saying it's like it's growing slowly. When you can handle this, you can handle a little bit more, then you can handle a little bit more, and you
My dream
know
was
how
always
to
an
take.
album. My dream was always
Oh, wow.
to drop an album.
Wow.
Ich feel so wie a single, is so wie
Gets
du
lost
gehst für
in
einen
it.
mit Zip.
Right.
Favos, because ich hab den Zip, und nachdem, weißt du, ich meine, bleibt so wie stecken in
Yeah.
mitten, so wie der Song ist schon nicht du mehr.
Right.
It's 3 minutes and that's it, it's
Right.
over.
If he wants to really listen to Mendy and get inspired and hear your
You need an
message,
album.
it's an album. Mit get the flow, shine the music.
With
Wow.
the branding, jeder Song hat seine eigene picture in the Masse, you know,
Yeah.
and it comes together and everything.
Right, but if I can say, Mendy, I think Adi bist toch a solid performer. I don't
Appreciate
think all your future is an album. I think your future is in shows.
Right,
No,
but
it's
in
the
order to
manager
make a
thing.
show, you
Nachman,
need-
am I right? The guy is crazy. I saw you videoed with the machsva, with his gemachva piram,
The
with the mask, yeah, and you're just jamming in a store or something, and I was like, die bist, Lipa 2.0, not to call you names, but you have that, but in a younger energy stuff.
I got
you
that
know
a
what I'm
couple of
saying?
times, yeah.
Right?
Geef het er.
But it's good because it's young. You're young. You're 21. You're fun.
The new
Like,
generation.
right. So
Lipa did this 10 years ago. that's for
exactly.
sure, yeah.
Right. So I feel like you can be a good performer. You can go onto a stage and wer darf the traditional the hit and rekel and zingt a ruhige Nigen. Yeah, like we want entertainment, and I feel like you have the personality for it. You have the charisma. You have the voice for it. Obviously, you have the material
What
to
people
do
need.
something like that.
So, first of all, bist 100% gerecht. And it's literally, du sagst literally Sachen, was in someone discussed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
this is that interesting. But the truth is that I know, like I'm aware of my performances and stuff. I didn't know always, but then at a certain point I started performing. People were like, Mendy, what did you just do? I was like,
Right.
well, I'm sorry, what did I do?
Yeah.
They're like, no, that was so good. And I looked over the videos and I was like, I started figuring out stuff that I did. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, let me go a bit harder on this. And then
Right.
I learned how to do it. And it's also months of practicing. Like we did rehearsals
Yeah.
for a very long time.
Yeah, you had many gigs in Israel, right?
Yeah.
Big stages and stuff. Like
Different
nice
types
stuff.
of gigs. Like
He's
I did
fun.
more like
I think Mendy is fun. Like you don't get it
Definitely.
often, by the way. It's not something that since you to gast an anizing it.
Right.
It's actually something that you're one of a kind. You're unique.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Another question that I'm curious is how you deal with like people project. I know for me, ich bekomme jeden Tag suggestions in my WhatsApp
Oh,
van shadichem. I get shadichem, me trok me gewoon met deze. And I tell people, kijk man, ik ben a single boeger. I do my life and I don't share anything about that on social media, like with my audience. Do you get pressure from that, or you just?
by me, it's a bit different. I get a lot of messages. You know, my
Mhm.
inbox is
Yeah.
like messages. But the truth is that I look at it in a very. I used to look at it differently. You know, I used to look at it in a very immature way. I was like, wow, I feel as I get. But then I realized at a certain point, as Ich verstehe nicht. Bist auf Social Media. Deine Videos are high quality. You post good content. If you look good, or even if you don't look good, ja, jeder einer hat sich der Meidlich was gehen für ihn, jeder hat sich seinen eigenen Look, everybody has their own nice, whatever. If you look settled on social media, von wo soll ein Meidl dich nicht wählen?
Yeah.
Why should a girl not want to marry you, right?
Right.
So, ich sehe nicht ein Meidl, was will ja gassen mit mir wegen Social Media. Because ich sehe nicht, ob ein Meidl soll nicht wollen gassen mit mir in Social Media, dann muss etwas wrong with sie. Because on social media, as I get, that portrays the most perfect picture of you possible.
Wow.
When you want to find a girl for your future, you want a girl to see the most imperfect picture of you possible. Because, of course, du willst nicht herankommen ungechasset und alles, but du willst den Meidl zusammen mit dich schwarz und weiß, auf gut und schlecht. No matter if you have a lot of money, or if you are famous or you're not famous. Because, ich weiß nicht, es ist also wie ein Havasche Eintelie bedubber. If it's connected to something, you're gonna lose it. So I really don't want to find anybody on Instagram, and I don't want to find anybody through Instagram. I do believe in the shidduch system, but to a certain extent. Like, I wouldn't go to just a random shadchan was will become a paycheck, because this is auch eine schlechte Sache.
Right, because then they just push.
They literally push, yeah.
Right.
But what I would do, I would go to somebody, jeder hat schon so viel Mamas und Babas seine Shadchanim. You just have to find somebody in your family or in your circle. Ich habe es gehabt mit einer, was ich kenne von Etzisroel, sei geht. Ich habe es von einer Yingerman mit seinem Wab. Sind beide, sind schon Gasten vor 15 Jahren, sie haben gesprochen mit Kindern. Sie kennen sich auch ein bisschen in der Line. Sie haben gemeint, das Box. Sie haben gesagt, Mendy, you know, ich habe gesagt, listen, wenn der Zeit hat sein reif, aber jeder Mädel, was sich tracht, das kann sein, eine gute Suggestion, oder was eng trachten, you're gonna screen her, you know, screenen der Mädel, sehen, wie kennen sie finden, macht das Sense? Nicht jede Sache macht Sense.
Right. Does she want you for you, or does she want you for your career, money, and fame? That's basically what it comes down to.
That's basically what it comes down to, but it's also, like, I regretted the fact that I became famous, because Pink is so wie die bist blind, die kennst nicht sehen certain Sachen, because andere Sachen kennen dich so wie blinden.
Yeah.
Zijn famous blind andere Menschen von sehen dann true identity dezelfde Weg.
Right.
Because
it's a little bit scary, by the way.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Menschen wachen around, sie sehen nicht Ellie Weber, was steht auf in der Früh wie ein normaler Mensch und hat Issues wie ein normaler Mensch, hat gute Zeiten, schlechte Zeiten. Sie sehen Weber, Ellie Weber von Instagram, was sie sehen seine Videos jeden Tag. It's not a schlechte Sache, but when it comes to seeing the real person, sometimes it's a bit of a...
And when it comes to making a big life decision, you gotta make sure that somebody sees you for the real you.
Yes, so when it comes to dating, I stay away from Instagram, dating platforms and all of those stuff, because what should I do? It's too late, you know, my name is out there. I can't really do anything. But when the time is gonna be right, I'm gonna find someone, and yeah, I'll make sure it's the right way, you know. Right now, I'm so focused.
When you have an artist that's single, they're always worried for him. They always come up with suggestions.
I think it should be exactly the opposite. Menschen meinen, als wollen sie mit draußen, we're having a hard time. But we don't have a hard time. There's no shidduch crisis by where we're at.
But
know?
God has a plan for us, just like He has for everybody.
100%.
Wow. Anything? Yeah. Anything that we didn't cover? I see we're already an hour in. I feel like we covered a lot, man.
So we covered a sach.
I always try to think about welche question kann einer haben, was ich dich nicht gefragt. Und ich habe gesagt, so wie, hast du mich da fragen wegen der Sache, whatever.
Instagram. Keep it all with the reply to Instagram.
Oh, darf ich checken. Let me check Instagram. Wow. Ich habe bekommen so viele Messages.
Also von mal. Kijk eens daar gevaarden, vader verrekst.
I have a lot of questions. Okay. What made you go into the line of music? I feel like we spoke about that, no?
Yeah. We can do a quick answer and everything.
What made you decide to go into music?
The fact that I wrote a lot of songs, and the fact that I can't just gloss rausgeben, I just gemacht wel rausgeben sag stärker. And then I blew up. So I felt like everybody likes it, like we said before.
Yeah. What made you decide that the Rebische culture isn't for you and you're more a music guy? I don't think their question is relevant.
Yeah,
who cares?
That's the Instagram question.
Weißt because it's judgmental. Yeah. Who cares?
And by the way, the Rebische culture is very much for me. I still join my family. Simchas kriegt mich mit I hit and back at
Yeah.
Same. To my family.
Yeah, ich weiß, this is very judgmental. People see it. This is the black and white culture. As they say today, OTD stands for on the derech. Heißt ich mein? It used to stand for over the derech, it stands today for on the derech. And that's really how I feel. Like, me, years ago, I would have been considered like a bum, a dropout, whatever.
Right.
Today, what do you mean? Like, I can wear a t-shirt, I'm not a dropout.
Okay, die bist schon die Gitte. The dropouts and the haben nicht the jobs.
Exactly, yeah.
Menschen, the view for Menschen haben sich definitely
Which cheder did he go to?
Baba 45 in Butterpack.
Yeah, I was going to say, somebody's asking, like, when did you decide that you want to look different than your own community? Which I just want to say that I want to answer the question, like, what means different? What's the community and what means different? Because some person decides to wear rekel all day and ich will nicht, meint nicht, dass ich bin different. So ich kann schon mit
Menschen gappen, nicht so wie in Strachten. Ich will darf nicht trugen a rekel, so was kann ich trugen instead? A polo shirt. It doesn't work like that. We're like, we just it's the end game from our journey. It's the nicht the end game, wie sagt man das? Was kommt da raus bei the end von our journey. So we went dort, so we getried days, getried Jens, gegangen zum Macy's, gekauft jena T-Shirt, and then we settle on something that we wear. But some might nicht some get choose to sein anders von der community. Ich hasse schon, ich love my community sehr stark. And the people that I'm making the music for is my community that I grew up in. So we love the community.
Right.
And it's stellen sich ziehen.
There's we got lots and lots of questions, but I feel like we did talk about all of them.
Spoke about all of them.
And one of the things that I love doing on a podcast is bringing a person and introducing him to the world. Like, ich weiß dat die podcast 10.000 mensen gaan associëren. En ik wil ze kennen, the real Mendy. They should know you. En niet staan van de Instagram van they should get to know you. And I have a very good record, Baruch Hashem, on doing that, on introducing people to the world. And I'm very proud of that. So thank you, Mendy, for your time.
Good job, Ali.
I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for being here and listening. And please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel.
Or leave an emoji like this.
Yeah, an emoji, a thumbs up. I want to specifically give a shout out to people that give super likes. I started noticing it more and more. Like, there's an option on YouTube. Yeah, like somebody gave last week $100. And I was for that day, I felt depressed, even though that doesn't happen for me often. And the fact that somebody gave $100 just simply made my day. Like, it made me feel so good. Like, I worked so hard on the podcast and guests and editing, and it costs money and stuff like that. So it really just means the world to me that somebody goes and puts a super like. You can give $5 or obviously more. And you can also become a member. So every week when we release a podcast, we also release a extra video, which, for example, over here, after I record this, I'm going to record an extra bonus video with Mendy that we release for the members. So it's $10 a month, and it truly helps and supports the channel. And there's also many older videos with all the other guests that we had over the last 2 months, where you can watch extra content, bonus footage with those people. It's usually, sometimes it can be a 10-15 minute conversation that we're just randomly having with the guests so that you can get access to it. And I do that because the money that comes in helps simply support the channel. So thank you for all of those that are members and to all of those who are considering to subscribe. I'm going to leave the links to Mendy's Spotify and social media platforms, wherever you can follow him. Go check out his latest songs and follow him, and leave a comment over here so he can see the feedback. Also, make sure to check out our sponsors that we mentioned in the podcast, whether it was in this episode or other episodes. I mentioned to them Weber, because that helps them come back and they pay us some money so that I can make a living. So thank you very much.
Tell them who sent you.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it, and the support is just overwhelming. Despite, like, sometimes negative comments that I really don't read, but sometimes it comes out and whatever, and people are like, at the end of the day, I feel like the people are here, they're listening, they enjoy to listen to me, to the work that I do, and these are the people that give me the strength to go on and share inspiring conversations that help them grow. And I truly feel grateful for this opportunity, but I throw back the gratefulness to you guys, because if it wasn't that the channel keeps on growing, I wouldn't continue doing this. Since I did such a long outro, Mendy, any final words of inspiration and chizik that you want to give to Klal Yisrael?
Definitely. We have to tell Klal Yisrael, and they have to know. It's not optional. They have to know this. That they have to understand that God is the biggest, and He does.
Wow.
Was have a vacation, you know? So like, if you're ever afraid and you're thinking like, oh, was Bashefer helft mich jetzt in the second, this is exactly wie helft dich. Wie says yes, this is how He's helping you.
Wow.
So just be calm, and you'll get there. And
Chalas
2 years
d'chafem.
from now, 2, 3, whatever it is, we'll all laugh together, you know?
Right. And you probably deal with that a lot, like
I deal with that
anxiety,
so
fear,
much.
your career, your travel, you do big shows, you do big stuff that you never know how it's going to work out.
I deal a lot with it. And I have sometimes, by the way, people don't know this, like when I'm in Israel, Nachman is not with me in Israel. So we work remotely, but when I have a show or something, I have to just show up by myself.
Oh, wow.
So imagine you come to a show by yourself. And
Right.
imagine ich drive nicht, ich kann nicht kein car in Israel.
Right.
So ich come with a train. So imagine you come
Wow.
to that train, noch hast du noch a 3-minute walk, and you come to the show. Ich
Yeah.
gehad auf Bar Mitzvah von einer riesigen Celebrity, was ich gesungen habe. Ich gedacht, ich kann performen 2 Songs.
Okay.
So ich noch 3 Menschen, die haben performt. Jeder einzelne sei ist einer von den größten Celebrities in Israel. Like it was a
Wow.
big kid celebrity in Israel.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. Ich wollte so performen Chick-Chack in Yiddish and this in
Yeah.
Yiddish, whatever. And I came to the event, ich had my monitor in my hand, and my hand hat sich geschockelt. Ich konnte vielleicht rausnehmen den Monitor von der Bag. Monitor ist der in-ear,
ja,
das
ja.
daran liegen. Ich habe nicht gewusst, like, ich habe so gezittert, ich habe nicht einen Manager, was bringt mich Wasser, und ich sage, okay,
Right.
do you need a bathroom, maybe go to the bathroom before. It's a lot of anxiety, but then afterwards, it feels
How did you
double
do
as
it?
good.
How did you put yourself on stage?
So
Despite the fact
I
that you
close
were
my
so...
eyes and I look at the situation like as if it's already passed. Like,
Oh, wow.
my anxiety is the singen in front, because my anxiety is that aufwachen of the stage, right?
Yeah.
So ich habe ich meine Augen und ich imagine wie sich was noch dem. Und ich imagine wie ich viel ruhig
Right.
und ich gehe heran.
It's beautiful. That's the way to do it.